everyone, and thanks for joining this week's live broadcast where we're going to be printing for the holidays. So we're going to be doing a variety of different projects, and that ranges anywhere from apparel to gift items, and then some home decor items as well. All right, so I have stalls already brought up on my desktop, and I'm on the patterns page. All right, so we have 3 selections here: Creative, Studios, Realtree, and Spectra. So before I show you the Bohemian Dreams pattern, I'm going to go to the holiday section just so that you can see all there is to choose from. So there are a lot of options. We're constantly updating these. So I'm just going to scroll through these and let you just look at all of these different patterns. All right, so we've recently added a lot of fun, really bright and colorful patterns to our collection, and they are all in that expressions category. So this is the Bohemian Dreams. I'm going to select that. That pattern will start to generate up here. I'll go to select colors, and then I can choose from here what I want my colors to be. All right, so you get the idea. I'm able to just go through this and hand select what patterns I want to be incorporated. So once I have all of my colors selected, I'm able to choose what finish I want that in. So whenever I check out, I'm going to go to select material, and I can either order it in Express Print, which is our matte heat transfer vinyl, the glitter, which is another heat transfer vinyl, and then Aurajet 3164. And that is going to be my sign vinyl. So to get sign vinyl, I'll select that and then just select how much of that I want. All right, so we'll go ahead with that project. Whenever you're working with an item that is rounded, you have to really just manipulate this so that it is fitting that item without really wrinkling or anything. All right, so after I squeegee that down, I can go ahead and peel this up. I'm going to be nice and careful since that is starting to lift where some of it did wrinkle. All right, so that is that Bohemian Dreams pattern. And we always recommend that if you're going to do a pattern and you really want it to pop off of whatever item you're applying it to do a contour cut and do it in a solid color so that makes this pattern really pop off. All right, so I'm just starting from the middle and working my way out, getting this as much pressure as I possibly can so that that adhesive starts to stick. Okay, this ornament is from Hobby Lobby. Okay, so they come in a pack. I'm sure there are some out there wholesale, but I didn't actually have time to research whether or not they are wholesale or not. Okay, so that is putting sign vinyl onto a Christmas bulb. So our sign vinyl works very well with glass. I'm just going to go around the edges where it kind of picked up, where some pieces are not taking to the curve of the bulb too well. All right, so just be careful if you are going to do this to shrink your design a little bit. It did turn out pretty okay, but there are some pieces when you're looking at it in person that are starting to kind of overlap each other. So if I would have just been able to size this down a little bit, that would have helped with that. Okay. All right, so we have our print area completely isolated. And before I do this, I'm going to place my design down to make sure I have enough room. All right, and I am just making that edge. You always want to make sure that you're using a garment that has a nice tight weave of cotton. If not, there's a chance that some pinholes will start to be created in that adhesive because it's just such a thin material that it will take on any fabric that you apply it to. Right? It is a hot peel, so I can go ahead and peel that back. All right, so for this application, we're going to be doing a multicolor foil. All right, so we're going to be doing the green and the red, so you can see my green stripes. And I'm just going to be striping this up by laying these pieces of green foil across my design like so. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I am covering and filling in all of those gaps. So where my green is laid down on the adhesive, it'll apply there, and now my red is going to apply everywhere else there is exposed heat transfer vinyl. Another thing is I just tighten my knob because this is going to be a firm pressure. So I want my press to read anywhere between a 7 and a 9 if I'm using a Hotronix machine. Okay, so just because I have a press that might not have these interchangeable platens, I can use items such as pillows and pads. So we'll switch back over to the other cam so that you guys can see how this finish comes out. All right, so I can remove the green. And that design is complete. All right, so foil has a nice bright finish to it, but that's not the only finish that you can get with it. Okay, so I'm actually going to lay this back down onto my platen, and I won't worry about threading this time because I'm just going to hit this for a couple extra seconds. And what this is going to do is give it a low luster effect. So right now I have a really nice high mirror-like shine to it. But if I want to make this have something more low luster, then all I have to do is cover it with a cover sheet and tack it for an additional 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, so we'll remove that cover sheet, and you can see that that changed that finish to be a more matte and low luster. So it's still shiny, it still has a nice special effect to it, but it just doesn't have that mirror-like finish. What I'm going to do is personalize the bottom of this. And we're going to be customizing this or personalizing this, since it's a monogram, with CAD Cut Metallic. Okay, so CAD Cut Metallic is a really high shine finish as well, similar to the foil application we just saw. And but what's nice about it is it applies at a nice low temp. So we'll be applying this at 300 degrees, and it only applies for 8 to 10 seconds. All right, so you'll see that I placed down a special cover sheet, and this is a silicone type material. And this is going to protect my acrylic from getting too much heat so that it doesn't melt. All right, so this is a heat sensitive fabric that we are applying, so we do need to take extra precaution. And this cover sheet is called a flexible application pad, and that's what's going to protect this acrylic from melting. So anytime we're using this cover sheet, we need to make sure that we are following the certain instructions that it applies. So when we're applying CAD Cut Metallic, we know it applies at 300 degrees, and I only have to apply it for 8 to 10 seconds. However, when I'm using this cover sheet, I need to increase my time an additional 10 seconds. So instead of applying it for 8 seconds, I'll be applying it for 18 seconds. Okay, so you can see that my material, the fabrication that we just applied, is completely fine. There's no box, there's no scorching. So this cover sheet was able to let me personalize this without damaging the blank. And then I can peel back my metallic. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so this does that same thing. It has that nice mirror-like finish to it. To find center of the tree skirt, I'm going to open this up. And it's pretty simple to find because the back is open. All right, so that's going to be exactly center in the front. All right, and there is a little seam there for me to kind of be a guideline for me to make sure that I'm nice and lined up. And this application is going to be a 2-color mixed media. So what we did was took our CAD cut patterns in polka dot and matched up the colors with the color in the tree skirt. All right, and I'm just going to tack this for 3 to 5 seconds. So patterns is one of those materials that we can use that tacking method with, where it starts to activate that adhesive just enough that it will adhere to the item. All right, so now I'm going to line up my contour. And for this one, I'm also going to tack again, okay? Reason being is anytime I'm working with glitter flake, there are some leftover glitter flake particles that stay onto the carrier. And they will actually transfer to matte heat transfer vinyl. So if I were to leave this on for the full application, I would chance getting glitter particles on the pattern. Now, some people prefer that, so they'll apply it for the full application, but not all of your customers are going to expect that. So I recommend just tacking and then going back in and covering with a cover sheet, since we now have exposed vinyl. and now applying for the full application. So 2 tacks, and then we apply for the full application. Okay, so this builds a lot of opportunity for me because now I can offer this as a set. All right, so you can do package sets depending on how many people they have in the family. They'll be adding personalization to this, so this opens up a lot of opportunity for this time of year specifically. All right, so just think of other items that you could be decorating for home decor where people will want things personalized. Okay, so I'm going to be working with this section of the laptop case. All right, so we're going to be using Premium Plus High Tack. So if you guys aren't familiar with our Premium Plus High Tack product, this is a new addition to the Premium Plus material that we had before. So it's that same Premium Plus heat transfer vinyl that you already know and love, but we put it on a high tack carrier so that we're able to achieve really fine detail in our design, such as this little registration mark. All right, it has that same silky, thin, lightweight finish. It's very matte. Premium Plus High Tack is a hot peel, so I can peel this carrier back as soon as the heat press beeps at me. All right, so this is a great heat transfer vinyl to use on an item like this because it is so thin. And I'm going to try to hold this up to the camera well enough so that you can see that this material actually started to take on the finish of our faux leather. That's all we have today, so thanks so much for joining me.